So ever since the cover for Power Rangers issue 18 was revealed, I've been excited to read this issue because it has Jason and Yale coming face to face with Andros from Power Rangers in Space. And seeing Andros finally get some spotlight in the comic after so many years, I mean, he was in Beyond the Grid, which had mixed reception, he was in The Psychopath, which had mixed reception, but now we get to see Andros in the sort of main timeline of the Power Ranger comics, and this is Andros right after his home planet was destroyed and invaded by Dark Condor and Dark Spectre. So we get to see a war-torn, angry Andros in this comic. But not only that, I'm hoping we can actually learn how Andros got his powers in this comic, which I get the feeling they're going to be saving for the Countdown to Ruin comic, but either way, we get to see Jason and Andros come face to face, which I'm sure that a lot of people are going to complain about because some people sort of don't know the whole timeline between the comics and the TV shows, and people are going to say, they're messing up the timeline now. Yeah, but this is a different continuity, so they can do whatever they want with the comics, and seeing Andros come into play and sort of be spotlighted in this comic is really freaking cool. But enough about that. Let's talk about Power Rangers issue 18, because apart from Andros showing up, some other interesting stuff happens in this comic, so let's talk about it. So the issue opens up with Jason going for a run with Yale as they watch the sun rise, or probably one of the suns rise, on Safehaven, and this is a totally different Jason from what we've seen in previous issues. This Jason is upbeat, he's happy, he's ready to take on the world, and that's really good to see because Jason in the last couple of arcs, you've seen him be on edge because he's been hanging out with Draken, he was trying to save the universe, but as Jason says, he says that this place is paradise because here they have the freedom to do exactly what they want to be and do exactly what they want to. Well, they get to be who they want to be and do exactly what they want to do, where they've got no secret identities, no homework, no lying, and they can basically do whatever they want. The only responsibility they have is protecting the universe from whatever threat is out there. And as Jason says, he doesn't want to waste a single second. So it's cool to see Jason in an upbeat mood and ready to take on the world, which is great. I like seeing Jason in a good mood in this comic because, like I mentioned earlier, he's been through a lot of shit since the whole Necessary Evil and the Eltarian War and the Unlimited Power stuff, so it's good to see Jason happy. So 11 tells them there was 2 distress signals, one of them coming from the 3rd planet in the Mid-Rose system, and the other coming from KO-35. So, we know what the other one is, KO-35, Andros' home planet, but the other one, we don't know what this planet is, but when we see it, it's very interesting. So, our heroes decide to split into 2 groups, Zack and Trini, and Jason and Yale. Now, just like I do with my Eltarian War stuff, I'm going to cover this in the 2 separate parties as each adventure goes on, and then tie it together near the end. So the first thing I want to cover is something that probably everyone wants to see, is the Jason meeting Andros stuff. So let's talk about that first, and then we'll talk about the Zack and Trini adventures. Now, before I talk about the Jason stuff, I want to talk about the morphing sequence we got before our heroes went on the separate adventures, because I think this is the first time Yale gets a morphing sequence, and I gotta say, Yale's morphing sequence is kind of funny, where everyone says their Omega roll call, and Yale just growls. But the morphing sequence down below is really cool, that giant page, that giant spread that takes up most of the page, where you see everyone sort of being engulfed by their elements and stuff like that, and Yale's got this really cool beastly silhouette going for him, which looks really amazing as well. I like that drawing, or I like that image we got when our heroes morph, because that looked really freaking cool. Now, we never saw KO-35 that much in Power Rangers in Space. I believe the first time we saw it was in Never Stop Searching, where Andros took on a clip door, and that fight scene was mostly ripped from the Super Sentai footage. So the first image you see when you see KO-35 is kind of based on that image, which is really cool. I do like that design. But I think the other times we saw KO-35 in Power Rangers in Space was original footage that they filmed, but I do like how the opening shot is sort of based on the first time we did see that planet in Power Rangers in Space. So Jason and Yale, they explore the planet and they run into these weird Revengers who have some very unique designs, and their armor looks very unique as well. It kind of looks like Saiyan armor mixed with the White Ranger armor, in my opinion, where it does have an interesting vibe to it, but they do also look like little gremlins but purple. So I love the interactions that Jason has with his characters where they say, hey, if you surrender now, we won't force you to eat your pet. So they're saying they're going to force Jason to eat Yale, or well eat it as well. So they make that threat. And I love Jason's response by saying, hear that? They want to eat you. Well, I had a similar idea. So this is where you get some really cool fight scenes between Jason and these brutes, but we do find out that they are working under Dark Honda because they say if they capture Jason, they will be rewarded because they are looking for Andros right now. So the fight scene between Jason and these grunts is really freaking cool. Some really cool action set pieces. You get to see Yale in there jumping about, being really freaking cool, while Andros is sort of watching from the shadows with his cloak disguise. So Jason and Yale manage to defeat all these grunts except for one when one starts running away, and Andros just shoots it blank right in the neck. And Andros tells him, you can't let these guys get away because if one gets away, then they'll come back and they'll show no mercy. So Jason asks what's going on, who are you, and explain yourself. And he reveals himself as we know, Andros, and says he's a ranger as well because he called the Omega Rangers here because he needs them to save what's left of his people. And when Andros takes off his cloak and reveals his morpher, you can kind of see that Andros here is very worn and torn. He's been fighting a lot. It looks like his hair's a mess. His cloak kind of looks a little bit battle damaged here and there, but you can see that this guy's been on the run, surviving and fighting off his forces ever since his planet was invaded. And hearing that he wants the Omega Rangers' help to save his people, I do wonder if that's going to put them into safety or into hiding like we saw in Power Rangers in Space. I wonder if the Omega Rangers are going to be responsible for that event. But either way, Andros is here, and it's really cool to see this character here, and I wonder what role he's going to play in this story arc moving forward. Is he going to be a major player with the whole Vox crew showing up? And what exactly will Jason learn from him? Because I hope that, like I said at the start of the review, I'm hoping we find out why Zordon chose Andros to be a ranger. And although we're getting that countdown to Ruin book, we'll talk about him and Zane's earlier days at Ranger Academy or whatever it was called, but I hope we get an answer why Zordon chose him, because that was never explained in the TV show. You just said Zordon chose him, but hopefully we get a proper reason in this comic on why Andros was chosen to be a ranger. Okay, so let's talk about the whole Zack and Trini stuff. So, when they arrive on this planet, you can tell that this planet has an ominous vibe to it, where everything on KO35 was all bright and colourful, with the shading and the lighting and stuff like that. Everything here is sort of dark and grey colours, so that shows that this planet is very spooky and kind of in ruins. And what we find here is a bunch of skeletons that look like they've been there for a while, but we also see this mysterious pod, and before it's opened up, Zack and Trini are attacked by this really cool looking monster. Like, I love this design that Marco Renner did. Like, it's got this giant helmet on, and it's got all these different mouths coming on it. It's something like out of Dungeons and Dragons or a RPG boss or a JRPG boss. Like, its design looks really freaking cool. So Zack and Trini summon their Omega Zords, and I gotta love this Zord fight we get in the comic because it's really creative with how they're able to defeat it, and that is sort of Trini wrapping a giant chain around its mouth and riding it, and sort of making it go headfirst into the ship that they found, blowing it up. So after the battle with the giant weird space alien monster, 11 contacts Zack and Trini saying they found an escape pod. So Zack and Trini go to the location, and what they find in there is this green little alien baby. And when I saw it, I thought, oh, this is going to be like Ryan's Grogu in the comics. This is going to be like the cute little alien sidekick that Zack and Trini are going to look after and raise and stuff like that. The show them being like responsible and learning about parenting and stuff like that with an alien, which I'd be fine with because this alien thing takes a totally different direction later on in the comics. So they take it back to 11 and they find out that its life force is doing good, so it's alive and well. And they tell Jason what happened, and Jason says he's going to hang out with Andros and find out what the heck he wants, and they can't really travel to him right now, or travel to the other Omega Rangers, because the alien grunts Zaru or Saru, that they've got a X name in it that's hard to pronounce, but they said they can't travel to where they are right now because their signal will be tracked and it will bring danger to them. So unfortunately that can't happen. So Zack and Trini go outside and they talk about sort of how they're going to be parents now, and 11 comes up to talk with them and says something happened with the baby alien, and Zack and Trini are like, what's wrong? And they say the subject's in good health. Well, 11 says the subject's in good health, but I don't think it's a baby anymore. And then on the next panel you see the baby that they found looking a little bit older now, so yeah, that's something. Now, I kind of knew this character would be appearing in the comics, but I had no idea what the context was, because it was one of the covers, and it was sort of Zack and Trini standing beside it doing this family portrait, and I was like, oh, that's one of the aliens in Safehaven that they know. But no, this is a brand new character that's going to be in the comics, and I do wonder how fast it's going to age as this arc goes on. So that was Power Rangers issue 18. This was an interesting issue in the direction it went in. I love the whole Andros stuff and I'm excited to see where that goes, but the whole Zack and Trini being parents thing, that thing has my attention as well, because I do wonder where exactly that is going to go, because now they've got this character that is aging rapidly. They're going to learn the responsibilities of being a parent, and I do wonder how that character is going to play off Zack and Trini, because they'll be learning about adult responsibilities and stuff like that on Safehaven, and like I said, I wonder where that is going to go. Now, crazy crackpot theory. What if the child they found is going to turn into a villain near the end of this arc? It keeps aging rapidly, and the whole idea of people finding these race of aliens is so they can sort of infiltrate planets and stuff like that and take it over eventually, because that'd be pretty freaking wild. Because although it does seem innocent and cute, I get the feeling that character looking innocent and cute might sort of be a ruse, and then eventually when it grows up it's going to become more vicious and dangerous probably, but that's just a crazy theory. But either way, that's my thoughts on Power Rangers issue 18. What did you guys think of the issue? Tell me in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions. With that said, I'm going to bring this video to a close. If you enjoyed this review, hit that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to share it around on social media and stuff like that. Thanks for watching, have a wonderful day or night, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out, take care, bye.